Today we will solve the problems on finding out the flexural strength of pre-stressed concrete section post-tension beams. In my previous video I have solved different types of problems of finding out the flexural strength of pre-stressed concrete section on pre-tension beam. So today we will solve three types of problems. One is a rectangular section and another is flanged section. In the flanged section, we'll solve problems on T section and box girder section. So we'll solve this problem on rectangular section. A post-tension unbounded beam of rectangular section has 500 mm width and 800 mm effective depth. It is pre-stressed with 64 number of 8 mm diameter high tensile steel wires in 4 cables. The steel is stressed to a level of 800 Newton per mm square. After all losses, the ultimate strength of steel is 4000 Newton per mm square. Evaluate the moment of resistance of beam as per IS specification. Assume a concrete strength of 40 Newton per mm square. This is proposed to be used for span of 16 meter. So we'll write the given data. So width of the beam is given 500 mm. Effective depth of the beam is given 800 mm. Then FP effective stress is given 800 Newton per mm square. Then FP is given, it is 1400 Newton per mm square. Then span is given L, we can write here 16 meter. Then FCK is given, this is 40 Newton per mm square. Okay, we'll solve now. So here 64 numbers of 8 mm diameter high tensile wires are given. So we will calculate the cross sectional area of wires. Total 64 number of wires are there. So we can write here AS. So 5/4 into D square. D is 8. This is the area of one wire. Then we will multiply total number of wires. There are 64 numbers. Okay. So we'll get 3215.36 mm square. Next, we will calculate the span by D ratio. Span by D ratio. So span is, we'll write in mm and effective depth is 800. So this is 20. Now we have to calculate the effective reinforcement ratio. So that is APFP divided by FCK into BT. So here in the post tension beam we have to take effective pre-stress here. So AP is 3215.36. FP is 800, that is effective pre-stress. FCK is 40. B is with 500. Then effective depth is 800. So that is 0.16. It gives. So based on the span by D ratio and effective reinforcement ratio, we will obtain the value of FPU by FP and XU by D from the table number 12 of IS 1343. So you can see here how to obtain this. Now here page number 60 of IS 1343. This is first column is effective reinforcement ratio, and this table is for post tension beam with unbounded tendons. Okay, so here effective span by effective depth ratio is, we have got 20. Then you can see in the column number in second column, that is one for 0.16 we have to interpolate these values. Okay, so now we will interpolate these values. For 0.16 reinforcement ratio, we require the FPU by FP value and XU by D value. From table number 12, we will obtain the value of FPU by FPE. So from that value is FPU by FPE. That value we have got for effective reinforcement ratio 0.16. That value is 1.19, and the value of XU by D we have got, that is 0.484. So now therefore we can calculate ultimate tensile stress. So that is 1.19 into FP is 800. So you will get this value is 952 Newton per mm square. 952 Newton per mm square. Then we will calculate the XU. From this, XU will be 0.484 into effective depth is 800. So here we have got 382.2 mm. So now we can calculate the ultimate moment capacity of this section, or moment of resistance of the beams. Okay, so moment will calculate here moment of resistance of beam is mu. That can be calculated for rectangular section. It is FAP into FPU into D minus 0.42 XU. So that is AP is 3215.36. Then FPU value already we have calculated. This is 952. Then effective depth is 800 minus 0.42 into value of XU is 387. 387 is 387.2. So this value will be 91951.02 into 10 raised to 6 Newton, and then if you divide by 10 raised to 6, then it gives 1951.02 kilometer. This is second type of problems on force tension beam. This problem is on T section. I will read this problem. A force tension pre-stressed concrete T beam having a flange width of 1200 mm and flange thickness of 200 mm, thickness of web beam 300 mm, is pre-stressed by 2000 mm square of high tensile steel located at an effective depth of 1600 mm. If FCK is 40 Newton per mm square and FP is 1600 Newton per mm square, estimate the ultimate flexural strength of the unbounded T section, assuming span by depth ratio as 20 and FP effective stress, pre-stress is 1000 Newton per mm square. So here these are the given data written here. The width of the flange BF is 1200 mm. Then the thickness of the flange DF is 200 mm. Then width of the rib or web, it is 300 mm. AP, area pre-stressing steel, 2000 mm square. Then effective depth is given 1600 mm. FCK is 40 Newton per mm square. FP, characteristic strength of steel is 1600 Newton per mm square and effective pre-stress is 1000 Newton per mm square. So we'll solve this problem. For your understanding purpose, I'll draw here the cross section of this PV. This is the cross section. The width of the flange is 1200 mm. Then thickness of flanges 200 mm. Then width of the rib is given. This is 300 mm. Now the reinforcement location is given the effective depth. So this is effective depth 1600 mm. Already the area of pre-stressing steel is given. We need to, and the span by depth of ratio is given 20. So directly we will calculate the effective reinforcement ratio, that is APFP divided by FCKBD. So in case of post tension beam, we have to take here effective pre-stress. So we will substitute that values. AP is 2000 mm square, then FP is 1000 Newton per mm square divided by FCK is 40. Then B is width of the flange. We have to consider here width of the flange because we have to assume first the depth of neutral axis lies. Assume depth of neutral axis lies within the flange. Means the depth of neutral axis lies here within the flange, we will assume. Okay, therefore this section, if the neutral axis lies within the flange, this whole section act as a rectangular section. Okay, so instead of BW here, BF width of the flange will be there, and here effective depth. So width of the flange is 1200 mm. Then depth of the flange, effective depth of the reinforcement is given 1600. So here we'll get 0.026. So now, based on the effective reinforcement ratio and the span by depth ratio, we will obtain the value of FPU by FP and XU by D. Okay, so obtain the value of FPU by FP and XU by D from table number 12 IS 1343 1980. Well, so how to obtain this value, we'll see. So here the first column is of effective reinforcement ratio. Then span by depth value is 20. Then here we will obtain the value of FPE by FPU by FP. So that value you can take here. This is 1.16. Sorry, this value is for 0.025 effective reinforcement ratio is 1.34. You can see here. So this value is FPU by FP is 1.34, and here XU by D value for 0.025 means that effective reinforcement ratio is very much near to 0.025, So here the XU by D value is 0.10. So this XU by D value is 0.10. So now we will calculate that values. So we have got that value is 1.34. So I will multiply here FP. So this will be 1.34 into FP is 1000 Newton per mm square. So it becomes 1340 Newton per mm square. 1.34 into 1000. So it will be 1340 Newton per mm square. Then XU by D value we know. So that value is 0.1. That value we have got 0.1. So I will multiply the effective depth here. So effective depth is 1600 mm. So here the depth of neutral axis we have got 160 mm. Okay. So now since XU is less than DF, means the depth of neutral axis is within the flange, our assumption is correct. Our assumption is correct. Assumption is correct. Depth of neutral axis lies within the flange. Therefore, whole section will act as a rectangular section. Therefore, ultimate flexural strength. Therefore, ultimate flexural strength. Ultimate flexural strength of P section is mu is equal to AP into FPU into D minus 0.42 XU. So we substitute these values: area pre-stressing steel, then FU ultimate tensile stress. So that stress is 1340 into effective depth is given 1600 minus 0.42 into XU is 160. So we will get this value 4107 into 10⁶ Newton mm. Okay, if you divide this by 10⁶, that you will get 4107 kilonewton meter. This is the final answer. This is third type of problem on a box girder section. Okay, we'll solve this problem. A post-tension bridge girder with unbounded tendons is the box section of overall dimension 1200 mm wide and 1800 mm deep with a wall thickness of 150 mm. The high tensile steel has an area of 4000 mm square and is located at an effective depth of 1600 mm. The effective pre-stress in steel after all losses is 1000 Newton per mm square and effective span of the girder is given 24 meter. If FCK is 40 Newton per mm square and FP is 1600 Newton per mm square, estimate the ultimate flexural strength of section. So we'll write the given data. Here overall dimension, it is a box section. It is a hollow section. You can see here box hollow section. Then overall dimension of girder is 1200 mm wide and 1800 mm depth. This is 1800 mm. Then here width of the flange, we will consider this is the width of the flange. This is the width of the flange, BF. Then width of the web, 150 plus 150. Here this is 150 and this is 150. We will add together, then it becomes 300 mm. Then overall depth is given 1600 mm. Then depth of the flange is given. Depth of the flange means thickness is, overall thickness is 150 mm. So this is, we'll consider this is the flange. This is the flange section we will consider. So this thickness will be 150 mm. Then area of pre-stressing steel, it is 4000 mm square given. FCK is 40 Newton per mm square. FP characteristic strength of steel is 1600 Newton per mm square. Effective pre-stress is given 1000 Newton per mm square and span is given 24 meter. Okay, so this is cross section I have drawn for your understanding purpose. So we'll solve this problem. Here what we'll do, we'll assume that since this is also flange type of section, so we will assume that the depth of neutral axis lies within the flange first. We'll check it whether it is actually lies within the flange or not. So assume that neutral axis lies within the flange. Now directly we will calculate the effective reinforcement ratio and span by depth ratio. So here span by depth ratio is span is 24,000 divided by effective depth is 1600. So we'll get this, so 16 means it is a 15. Then effective reinforcement ratio will calculate. Effective reinforcement ratio, so that is AP FP, here FCK BD. Here you should take effective pre-stress since it is post tension beam. So AP is 4000 mm square, then it is 1000 divided by FCK is 40, B is here width of the flange, because we are considering the neutral axis lies within the flange, so width will be BF. So it is 1200 mm, then effective depth will be 1600 mm. So we will get this value is 0.052. So based on the span by depth ratio and effective reinforcement ratio, we will obtain the value of FPU by FPE from the table number 12 of IS 1343. Here we have to check whether the depth of neutral axis lies within the flange or not. So we will obtain the value of XU by D for the effective reinforcement ratio 0.052. So here the span by depth is, you can see here XU by D for 0.05 effective reinforcement ratio. So it is in between 0.16 and 0.17. Okay, so we'll take intermediate value, that is XU by D. XU by D is equal to 0.17. Okay, therefore XU is equal to 0.17 into effective depth is 1600. So that value will get 272 mm. 272 mm. Since XU is greater than DF, our assumption is wrong. Neutral axis lies below the flange. Okay, so now we have to distribute the area of reinforcement in the flange portion and web portion. Okay, so that is AP is equal to APW plus APF. Okay, so now we will calculate APF, the area of reinforcement in flange portion. So this is APF. So the stress in the concrete at top extreme fiber is 0.45 FCK into BF minus BW into, this is the area, then B 0.45 FCK into BF minus BW into DF by FP. So we'll get APF is equal to, so this is a 0.45, FCK is 40, then BF is 1200 minus width of the web is 300. By adding 150 plus 150 it becomes 300. So now depth of the flange is 150 divided by the FP, this is 1600. So we'll get 1518 mm square. So area of steel in web portion we will calculate now easily. So here we know this. Okay, now we can calculate APW. Okay, so it is AP minus APF. So here 4000 mm square is the total area. Then area in the flange portion 1518. So you will get this is 2482 mm square. Now we will calculate the effective reinforcement ratio. Okay, so only web portion we have to consider here, because this table is given only for rectangular sections, so only web portion we have to consider here. Okay, so we'll calculate the effective reinforcement ratio now. So effective reinforcement ratio. Here we have to consider the area of reinforcement in web portion only, because these tables are there for rectangular section. Okay, so now here AP into FP divided by, we'll write here APW divided by FCK BD. Okay, this is effective reinforcement ratio. So APW is how much? 2482 into FP is 1000 Newton per annum square divided by FCK is 40. Width of web you have to consider here. Only rectangular portion means web portion you have to consider. So here width of the web is 300 and effective depth is 1600. So we'll get this 0.129. Now based on the span by depth ratio and effective reinforcement ratio, we have to obtain the value of the value of FU by FP and XU by D from table number 12 IS 13431980. Okay, so now here span by depth ratio is 15. So we'll obtain the value. We have got effective reinforcement ratio is 0.129, that lies between 0.1 and 0.15 effective reinforcement ratio. And here we have to do here double interpolation, so we'll do that. So for effective reinforcement ratio, FP divided by FCK, BWD. This is for point 0.10 and for 0.15. For 0.129 we have to obtain the value. Okay, then here FPU by FP, this ratio we need to find. For here we have to draw a table, because here for span by depth, this is span by depth ratio. This is for it is 20, then for it is 10. So here draw a table like this. Then for 10, this is span by depth ratio. Then for effective reinforcement ratio 0.1, what is the value of FPE by FPU by FP, we'll see. So this is for 0.10, the value is, this is 1.26 and it is 1.45. Then here for 0.15 effective reinforcement ratio, will write here value for span by depth ratio 20 and 10. So here it is 1.20, then 1.36. Okay, so first what we'll do, we'll obtain interpolate these values, then we will get this value. We require this value, so we'll obtain this value first and this value, then you will get this value. Okay, so how to obtain this value first we'll see. So first we'll obtain this value. So this value, first draw inclined line. This is 1.26 and this is 1.20, and this is for corresponding value, write it below. For 0.10 effective reinforcement ratio, this value is 1.26, so here I will write 0.10. For effective reinforcement ratio 0.15, the corresponding value is 1.20, so here it is 0.15. For 0.129 we require this value. Okay, so this is 0.129 and this will consider, this is x up to this we will consider. If you obtain this, interpolate this value, then add it in this, so you will get this value. Okay, so first from the properties of similar triangle we will obtain this height divided by this base. This height is 1.26 minus 1.20, 1.26 minus 1.20, this height you will get. Then this width we require, so 0.15 minus 0.10, you will get this width 0.10, that is equal to this height divided by this base. So this x divided by base is 0.15 minus 0.129. 0.15 minus 0.129. So we'll get the value of x. So this is we'll get directly, we'll write, you can calculate the value of x here, multiply here, then you'll get the value of x. So directly I will write here the value for this. So x plus this is 1.20, the value of x is, you will get 0.0252. Okay, so here you will get 0.0252 plus this 1.20, so you will get 1.225. So you will get this value 1.225. Okay, so now similarly we will calculate or interpolate the value for this in between 1.45 and 1.36. Similarly, you can draw here the Similarly, you can draw here. Inclined line, we will obtain this value. Here 1.45 is there, so write here 1.45. Here lower value is there 1.36, so write here 1.36. Draw this line here, this triangle, then we'll interpolate now. So write the corresponding values. For this, corresponding value is 0.10. Then for 1.36, the value is 0.15. For 0.129, we have to obtain this value. Okay, so here we will calculate again x value here from the properties of similar triangle. This height divided by this base, so it is 1.45 minus 1.36. This height you will get. Then base is 0.15 minus 0.10, so you will get this width. Then is equal to this height divided by this base, so that is 0.15 minus 0.129. So value of x you can calculate. So that value we have got 0.0378. So here we'll obtain this x plus 1.36 value. So that value is 1.397. 1.397. So we'll write here this value 1.397. Okay. So now we can easily interpolate now this value. Okay. Directly you can add it or directly make it divide by 2. Now we require this value. So for 15 we have to calculate this value. Okay, 15 is in between 20 and 10. So directly you can add those three values and divide by 2. So here FPU by FP value is here directly 1.225 plus 1.397 divided by 2. So here you will get this value is 1.311. Okay, why I have taken here average value? Because the value required for span by depth ratio 15, and that span by depth ratio lies exactly at the center between 20 and 10. So I have taken the average value. Okay, so directly we have got. So we can calculate now FPU. FPU is 1.311 into FPE. Okay, so here 1.311 FP is 1000 Newton per mm square. So this value will be 1 Newton per mm square. Similarly, we will obtain the value of XU by D from same table, number 12, IS 1343. So this is the effective reinforcement ratio. We have got 0.129, and for span by depth ratio 15, we have to obtain the value. Similarly, here required double interpolation. So here we will write the values for span by depth ratio 20 and effective reinforcement ratio 0.1. This value is, you can see here, for 0.1, this value for span by depth ratio 20, the value is 0.32. This value is 0.32. Then here for span by depth ratio 10, the value is 0.36. This value is 0.36. Similarly, for 0.15 effective reinforcement ratio, the value, write it from this table. So this is 0.46 and 0.52. This is 0.46 and this is 0.52. Okay. So now again similarly we will obtain this value by interpolating. Then next we will obtain this value. Okay. So now similarly we will obtain these values, okay, by interpolating. First we will obtain this value. So first draw inclined line, right here upper value first 0.46 and here 0.32. So now here write the corresponding value also. For 0.46 the value is 0.15 and for 0.32 the value is 0.1. For 0.129 we require this value x. This value we know 0.32. This plus this will get this value. So first we will find the value of x. So from the properties of similar triangle, this height divided by this base. So it is 0.46 minus 0.32 divided by this base value is 0.15 minus 0.1 is equal to this height x divided by base is 0.129 minus 0.10. So this value of x you will get 0.0812. Then add it here in this 0.32. So this 0.32 plus 0.0812. So the value you will get, that is 0.40. Just you should check that value should lie between 0.32 and 0.46. Okay, so that value is 0.40. Then this will write here 0.40. Then for this value again we will interpolate. Here draw your inclined line, highest value write 0.5 to here, and here this is 0.36. Then draw a similar triangle like this. Then write the corresponding value also. This is for 0.15 standard effective reinforcement ratio and this is for 0.10. For 0.129 you have to calculate this x. Okay, so now from the properties of similar triangle again 0.52 minus 0.36 height, then base is 0.15 minus 0.10 is equal to this x divided by this base 0.129 minus 0.10. This base will require. So x value is now, so that x value from this we have got 0.0928. Okay, then this value we required here, so we will add 0.36 plus 0.0928. So this is value 0.36 plus 0.0928. So this value will get 0.45. So this value is 0.45. This. Now this value we required. So directly you can get this value by taking the average of these two values. Okay, how? Because the 15 span by depth ratio lies between 20 and 10. That exactly lies at the center. Okay, so we can take the average of these two. So here this average we can take 0.40 plus 0.45 divided by 2. So here we'll get 0.42. 0.42 will get. Okay, so now this is 0.42, and now we can calculate the value of XU. Therefore, XU is equal to 0.42 into effective depth. So 0.42 effective depth is 1600. So we'll get this XU 672 mm. 672 mm. Now directly we can calculate ultimate flexural strength of the section for flanged section. Ultimate flexural strength. Ultimate flexural strength of section, that is Mu is equal to, first we'll consider that web portion. So this is APW into FPU into D minus 0.42 XU plus flange portion. Now we will get the extreme top fiber stress is 0.45 FCK into area BF minus BW into DF into D minus DF by 2. So here APW, this value is we have got APW is 2482. APW means area of reinforcement in web portion. Then FPU we have got 1311. Then D is 1600 mm. Then 0.42 XU is 672 plus 0.45 FCK is 40. Width of the flange is 1200. Then width of the rib is 300. Then depth of the flange is 150 into D minus DF by 2. 150 by 2. So we'll get this value 799 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. It is 0.3. So if you divide by 10 raised to 6, then you will get 799.3 kilonewton meter. This is the final answer. So 3 types of problems I have solved today. So you come to know the different types of problems may be asked in the flange portion. In this, the problem also may be asked on the I sections or double T sections. So similarly, you should solve the problems on finding out the flexural strength of that flanged sections as we have solved on the box girder section.